here are my 2 points. 1,
if you're buying,
and number 2,
if you're selling, if you're not quite sure where to start.
Thank you for doing a good job as always, and your analysis is spot on.
Talk to Dan Gemus and his team. Find them at dangemus.com. And now, filling in for Dan Gemus, your host, Joyce Blackmere.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Joyce Blackmere, Director of Sales and Broker with the Dan Gemus team. I feel like I'm in a bit of a rush now. Cassie just informed me that she's going to take off to Cuba right after the show.
I'm leaving.
She's out.
They've got some great deals. I've been down the rabbit hole just checking out some last minute vacations. And I've been helping our partner, Kathy Talbot, with some of her business while she was away. So I'm looking for a little I could use a
vacay.
Little vacay. I could use a cocktail on the beach somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you've earned
Just dreaming. Just dreaming.
Well, not Cuba, but you were also mentioning that you were checking out some stuff around the community lately.
You know what? One thing about me, Joyce, is I love a market. I am so excited. Springtime comes. I know the Windsor market just started last weekend. I missed it, but I am coming next weekend. So if you're selling soap, I will see you soon. I go for the soap, honestly. It's so much fun. But I went out to Pitt's, out in Malden Center there. Yep. They've got some awesome, I needed groceries and I hate going grocery shopping. So.
Oh, it's my least favorite too.
But I had a little extra in the tank here. So I decided to go and it was beautiful out yesterday. So I headed out to Pitt's and oh my gosh, I've loved to see the progression of them out there. When we first started, she just kind of had her cart with her veggies and her fruit is fantastic, her veggies. And then she started to bake bread, and make this amazing salad dressing and baked goods. And then the next year we saw her with the freezer outside. She had an outdoor freezer. So we were so excited. We're like, oh my gosh, we're just rooting for these people. And then when I went yesterday, I went to walk in the freezer. She said, oh, that's just where our extra grows. And they had another, it's kind of like a nice big shed that they've got, like a little house shed that they've built out there too. So
nice.
It's really cool to see them expand every year. So congratulations.
Awesome.
Pitts. And they sell cookies and pies. And I'm not going to tell you everything that I bought, but it's too much. And
it's so nice to get fresh produce and
goodness.
Fresh baked goods. It's nothing really tops that. It's
and even going into
the
experience.
Fall.
It's so much fun, and they're awesome people there. It's obviously it's great to support, but everything is so fresh. They have the most amazing pears that I've ever bought. I keep going back every year as soon as she's got the pears out, and it's just fun. It makes a nice little day too, and you can kind of go through the county and
lots of markets will be firing up.
I can't wait. I'll see you there. I'll see you there.
So it'll be great to go visit them for sure. Awesome. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention in the last segment as well is we're giving away a pair of Country at Heart tickets as well. For those that don't know what Country at Heart is, well, it is a giant country party, and all the proceeds from it go to local charity. So the Dan Gemus team started putting this on. I think this is the 7th annual Country at Heart. And each year, we do it to benefit, a charity, and all the money stays locally. We have great entertainment, amazing barbecue feast.
Food is so good.
Lots and lots of fun and dancing, dessert bar. Yeah, the energy is incredible. It's so much fun. Night of dancing. So, if you're interested in taking part in that, you can text your first and last name with the keyword heart, HEART, heart to 10800, and we will do that draw a little bit later on in the show. And now we do have tickets that are still on sale. It is on April 27th at the LaSalle Event Center. If you're interested, tickets are only on sale until Wednesday. So you can give us a call at the office, 519-566-5565. You can go online on our website. You can also email Dan or myself, Dan at dangemus.com or Joyce at dangemus.com, and we will hook you up with some tickets.
And it's so great because it just helps. It's such a great fundraising event that helps in our own backyard, right? You know, whether with the Canadian Mental Health Association, like we're able just to see and help, something in our area as well. So it's awesome to be a part of that. And I believe, haven't we raised over like 200,000 in the combined over the years too?
We're at nearly $250,000.
That's incredible.
Which has been pretty spectacular. It's amazing to be part of Windsor and Essex. I mean, and I think every community can speak to this, but I mean, for us, there's never a shortage of support in this community. I find it just absolutely amazing, and it's very there's so much pride.
Yeah, the energy
so much pride.
of the people that come and the pride and the support. It's just an awesome event. Like you actually, if you haven't been, purchase some tickets and come on out, because it is just a great night. It's a fun night. If you need a little date night, swing your partner around and bring your cowboy hat, and it's a great time.
Yeah,
it's a great time.
All the proceeds from this year will go to the Canadian Mental Health Association, the Windsor and Essex.
There's 50-50 prizes. There's raffle prize. We've got a ton of raffle prizes. It's going to be a ball. It's so much fun. I can't wait.
Absolutely.
I can't wait.
Absolutely. So if you're interested in going again, you can text the keyword HEART, HEART, with your first and last name to 10800. We will do that draw a little bit later on in the show. Okay, so let's get to the listener question that we had come in yesterday. So a listener texted in, how does a young couple making $100,000 a year get approved for today's prices? So, I mean, that's there's a lot of variables attached to that,
Absolutely.
right? So $100,000 is a good income, right? And you can definitely get a house with that. Now, there are some strings attached to that, right? We have to think about things like debt.
Yep.
We have to think about things like down payment. Mm-hmm. Is this your first home, or is this an investment property?
Absolutely.
I'm guessing in this instance, it's more than likely a first home. What else, Cass? Let's,
Yeah, like, you want to definitely check out your debt to income ratio. Do you have a brand new car? Because that's going to take away from your amount. Do you have, a lot of things that are already financed and tying up quite a bit of your money? So you might want to consolidate those bills and pay off a couple things just to put you in a different bracket to give you better buying power, right? Also, like you said, like those down payments, the stronger your down payment will be, the better it'll help you out at the end of the day.
The first step really, truly is to meet with a mortgage specialist,
Absolutely.
right? Meet
Absolutely.
with a lender, and it doesn't hurt to shop rates around, shop products around to figure out what's going to suit you best.
Yeah.
And make sure that you can square that away, because sometimes it means you need to come up with a plan. And, we're in the market of selling houses, but there's no rule that says by a certain age you have to have a house.
No.
So create a plan and stick to it.
Yep.
Save the money. Take advantage of the government incentives. First home savings account.
Yep.
There's you can borrow from your RSPs. There's lots of different products available. I can't speak to them in depth like Ron Bondi could, for example. But you need to talk to a mortgage specialist who can do
Sure.
that for you and get you set up. Because once you know what you can afford, then we can start looking. Then we can get you set up on a search. Or maybe it means you need to save a little bit longer depending on the price range that you want to be in.
And then still setting up those timelines for yourself to get there, right? And even to understand that maybe necessarily your first home might be your stepping stone, where there's, maybe you might have to take into fact, okay, well, if we've got this amount of money, maybe we'd look at a fixer upper opposed to spending our full max and getting something that's done. Or, maybe you're looking at some of the older opportunities. So maybe there's still some diamonds in the rough that are sitting on the market that haven't been picked up. So, but maybe it's area, or maybe it's house structure, right? Like, what can you actually handle? And maybe there's a little bit of give to that just to get you into the market. Cause that's the hardest part is getting
some
into
skin
the
in the
market.
game. Yep.
Cause once you have the monopoly pieces in your hand and you're on the board, then you're playing, and then you can move things around. And in a couple years, just, you'll be so thankful.
For sure. I can speak, I have 3 young adults at home, so I can speak from their perspective. And, they feel a little bit, discouraged, I guess. I guess that's the best word. They say things like, "Oh, we'll never own a home," and I don't think that that's true. Like, I really believe that they are in a position at their age, their mid-20s, and they just want to move out, and so they feel like the first thing they need to do is buy a home. But at the end of the day, they have a roof over their head, and they just need to take advantage of the savings opportunities that they have, and I think too, like, well, for example, let's talk about down payment, right? In the average price range, the most active price range, so we have that $450 to $650, up to $500,000, or I think it's like $499,999 and 99 cents. You need to have a 5% down payment. Then as you get above that range, that down payment requirement does increase incrementally when, as you go higher and higher. So you need to think about that. And sometimes too, maybe it's just having that larger down payment. So there's just a larger chunk, and that changes your affordability. Interest rates will help once they do start to come down. But, the biggest thing that we need to remember is the interest rates come down for everybody. So everybody who's been sitting on the fence or waiting for that opportunity is going to have the benefit and advantage of potentially a larger amount of affordability. Right. So then it creates, we're creating multiple offers. We're already seeing that in some markets. So, we need to keep that in mind. But the end of the day, it's not necessarily about a now thing. If you're ready now, cool. Like, let's get a plan. Let's get you set up. But if you're not ready now, let's get a plan and get you set up still. Absolutely. Right. So that it's for the future.
And even just understanding, like, I can attest to this. Like, I've worked with people that, for 5 years, for 2 years, like sometimes sometimes you really have to go through properties. Sometimes you got to place a few offers and miss a few shots.
That's right.
Real estate's it's a long game. It's sometimes there's those times where things happen real fast and real quick, for sure. But I think going into spring, we're seeing so many multiple offers come up again. We're just seeing everybody start to buzz a bit more. And of course, our inventory, we could always use some help with that all the time. So
for sure.
Just natural factors, just science, if you will.
Real estate science. Yes.
So opposed to, a long time ago where we could see a couple of houses, you would bid on one or two, boom, you had a house. Now, if we see, 30 to 50 houses, we bid on at least half of those, and we're still looking for houses for you, right?
Yeah,
so
sometimes,
you really got to sometimes dig deep and maybe make some constellations with what you're able to do or fix, or just be willing to Tetris and re-strategize as you go.
It's
really important.
It won't always be that perfect move-in ready, no work required property, but that's okay. I mean, if you're like you said, you're playing the long game, you're in the game now. So invest the money. It's only going to add value to your property. And if you have to live there for 5 years through a 5-year term, maybe longer, but hey, you're building equity, and now you can move that equity to your next step if and when the time comes.
And chances are, if you're there long enough, you're able to provide more value into that. So not only are you just sitting nice, talking real nice to your property, gaining some equity, but you're also able to input some value, right? If it's in a lower price range, and you're able to contribute to that too. So even if the interest rates fluctuate, it's never a bad time, because you can just sit quiet, like you said, and just let that equity kind of keel up for you and work for you, right?
Absolutely. Awesome. Okay. Well, I hope that helps a little bit. We're kind of all over the place, but the reality is that it's never a bad time to buy real estate. And if you're not in a position to buy right away, it's never a bad time to get yourself set up and get a plan, stick to the plan, and eventually you'll be able to put that plan into motion.
Another thing too that I was thinking, Joyce, is, maybe even thinking about for your thinking of a stepping stone. Maybe you buy a duplex, or maybe you buy something that's got an accessory suite where you're able to also rent out another portion of that to give you an extra little oomph of payment to help pay with that mortgage down too. So maybe it's not ideal maybe you don't want to share with somebody, but if you can strategize for a couple of years and get somebody else to help pay for that mortgage, that might be a plan for you too.
Yeah, it's a big mindset thing, right? Yeah. Because if it's a big undertaking to think of starting from scratch to save for a down payment and like, oh my gosh, I'll never get there. But that's not true. You will get there incrementally, right? So it's a matter of just setting the plan and sticking to the plan and keeping your goal top of mind, right? Whatever that goal happens to be, whether it's your first home, whether it's an upsize, downsize, or buying investment properties, whatever that is, it's just keeping that plan in mind and putting that money aside or paying that debt down, whatever whatever you need to do based on your meeting with your mortgage professional. And then we know what we're working with, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
awesome. Well, thanks, Cass, for that. We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we have Patrice Surrett from Goldmar Property Management with her tip of the week. There's lots more to come here on the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show.